If the name Eleanor or Shelby or Cobra or GT just makes your heart start to pump, then this next guest you're going to be your favorite part of the show. And with us in the studio today, Ron and Dianna Wheeler from RDW Automotive. Welcome to the show, Ron. Welcome back.
Thanks, Mitch, for inviting us. And I just want to also welcome all the out-of-towners to Reno, Sparks area, to join us in this celebration of the Hot August Nights.
Well, I mentioned just quality of businesses that we're up to bringing to our community. And for those of you that aren't familiar with our show, we broadcast live from Reno, and we service all of northern Nevada and Lake Tahoe. And in our community, I think as a direct result of the Hot August Night kind of genre that our community brings, we are blessed with some of the nation's absolute finest automotive establishments, and without a doubt, you rank among the top of those top automotive establishments. So tell us a little bit about the history of RDW Automotive, and the RD is Ron and Dianna, both in the studio today. Wheeler, the last name, Ron and Dianna Wheeler, Automotive, RDW Automotive. Tell us how this happened. How did you get struck by the car bug, and how did RDW Automotive get its foot in the ground?
Well, if you'd have told me in high school that I would be where I'm at, I'd have said, yeah, right. As I was a kid, I was always involved in my dad working on his trucks and cars, and always trying to figure out what in the world makes this thing go. And anytime he had his hood open, I was right there getting dirty with him. Did I totally understand it? No, but I was involved in it. And then high school came around, the Offer Auto Shop, and I was right there, signed up, ready to go. And unfortunately, our shop teacher at the time was just a phenomenal teacher. It was more hands-on than book. He hated bookwork. He loved hands-on. So that's what made it fun for us. And right after that, it was recommended for me to go to a tech school. So went down to Phoenix, Arizona for a tech school, learned a lot, but what was cool was they were big into cars and the car scene. One time I was driving around and I saw a Shelby and Mustang meet down there. And right then and there, and I actually owned a 66 Mustang at the time, black on black with no air conditioning, by the way. It was 118 degrees. I was sweating. And so anyway, right then and there, I just caught the bug in Mustang. And then I started observing the restoration shops down there and thought, you know what, one day. And then came back up here, worked for an independent garage, learned a lot about cars. And then at that time, I started getting the bug to have my own place. And so in April of '93, we made the big leap of faith and found a building that was reasonably priced and opened up. And a week after I applied for my business license, I was up and running.
Well, in our country, our Ford Mustang enthusiasts especially are blessed by that addition. And Dianna, how did you get struck by the car bug?
I guess it was through osmosis.
Guilt by association.
Yeah.
Well, and Dianna, it's really thrilling because, and I'm sure there are a lot of our listeners right now that would be thrilled to hear that it gets into your bloodstream, and you're part of this day-to-day operation. And it's fascinating how much more educated you are about Mustangs than I am after 33 years in the business as well.
Well, I probably know more about cars than I ever thought I wanted to know about them. And, it's kind of fun to watch people come into our business and look around and, guys giggling like little boys, because it's a big boy's toy store.
And big girls' toy store, too.
That's for sure.
A great number of those as well. I walk in there all the time, and you got both sexes walking through your store. So tell us, you just mentioned you have a huge parts store, and one of the things that I thought was really extraordinary is in most of these do-it-yourself parts stores, you go and you buy the part, you go home, and you try to figure it out. But that's not the way it works at RDW Automotive.
No, we're there for... Whether we're there to work on the car for you or you want to work on it yourself, we're happy to give you any advice, put you in the right direction. We've been in the industry, like Ron said, since 1993. We know who offers quality parts. We can match the internet prices. If you can find it on the internet, we can get it for you. And as long as it's quality related, the same same type of product, we'll match the price.
Well, and I like the fact that you said that. The internet is it's a wonderful and yet dangerous place for our community, and I want to bring some attention to that. Yes, you can get out there and you can learn a lot and you can find some things, but it doesn't tell you the decades worth of experience you have seeing inferior part failures.
Right.
And they just don't know that until it's too late. And you do have that distinction between what quality components look like, how they perform, and you can guide them away from those poor choices. And so that's something they won't get on the internet, but they can get that price from you on a quality part and know that they're getting a part that's going to give them the longevity that they are expecting from that. But the advice for the do-it-yourselfer, I think a lot of times too with the internet, they get a part and it doesn't automatically tell them they need something else to make that fit or adapt, and then they're having to wait again for the next piece to arrive.
Exactly. And if you call our shop, either myself, my niece Kristen, or Sherry will answer the phone. Sherry has been in the automotive industry for many, many years. She knows cars like most no other woman knows.
I'm impressed, I tell you that, and I'll say that publicly. She's absolutely an encyclopedia Britannica of the automotive parts that you carry and where they go.
You give her a list of things you want, need, whatever, and she'll say, yes, but do you realize you need this as well? And she'll get the parts, either has them there or she'll get them coming for you.
I should have had her on the show to ask how she got struck by this bug, but I'm sure part of it's osmosis as well.
I'm sure.
And then automotive art, Ron. This is something, there's some people right now that need to go visit your shop immediately to see. It's one of my favorite things. I come in there, I'm fascinated by it. I'll let you share what it is, but it's automotive art at its finest. And for our Mustang listeners, listen to what's up.
Well, having a retail store, it's always good to display your items that are available, and we set up 2 items with probably more to come, and we wanted to display dash items that were available and have it hands-on so customers can see that, as well as I wanted to display tail light functions, billet gas caps, sequential tail lights, and stuff like that. Well, we bought a back end of a Mustang and set it all up, had it painted really beautiful, and Mitch, thank you for bringing it up, but it's an item that could be displayed in a home and decorate out a house, a sport room or a Mustang room, and it would actually be art.
It is. I mean, that's what I thought it was originally, but you did it for a display.
Yes.
And I walk in and I see the back tail of a Mustang completely, and you say painted well. I mean, it's OEM in every way. It's an original equipment manufacturer, tail end, chrome bumpers, real tail lights, billet gas tanks. All the lights are working on it. It's painted candy apple red, and it is, sticks out of the wall. It's 3-dimensional art, and the lights are flashing and blinking, and it is beautiful. And I can picture this in one of our Mustang collectors' garages right now. And apparently there's a limited number of these that can even be made. You can make them to order, even color them to the color of the one that they have now, even match their existing paint job.
We'll even have bullet holes put on it if you want, or make it look like it crashed through the wall. It's what is it that you need to personalize your room, and that's what we're about too. If you have a Mustang and it looks just like your neighbor's, well, bring it to us. We'll personalize it so it's your car and decorate it as you wish.
Well, it's as if that wasn't even just enough right now to get some people's imaginations going and wanting to come over to see performance upgrades. We mentioned this is the fun factor, and you do that and then some.
Certainly. We are dealers for Roush Racing, Steeda, and many others. We are UPR dealers, which is a huge billet aftermarket product supplier. And not only do we buy that stuff, we install it, but just this past week, we needed to install a smaller blower pulley on a brand new Shelby, and we have the tools and the technology to do that, and people are bringing their stuff for us to do that.
Well, thank you for mentioning that. I want to get into the fact we just mentioned the parts store and the display of this art, but you have a full service facility. You can do the restorations, and not just on the classics, but all the way up to the relevant. So tell us a little bit about the shop, number of bays, the quality of the technicians there are unparalleled. you're out there doing work on them yourself.
Absolutely. I currently have a 4,000 square foot service center that we can do everything mechanical, rear end gear changes, transmission rebuilds, engine rebuilds, tune-ups, oil changes. We do all that, and I have 2 techs that are growing as well as I get out there and get my fingers dirty just to put out that quality product.
Well, and family owned and operated. Again, I mean, I have both members of the family here on the show, and your niece is there, and this is a family-run business. And again, not at the level that this is a marketing strategy. This is a real family that's dedicated to a community, rich in our Hot August Nights community. You do a lot of community events as well around the classic Mustangs, around the Hot August Nights. Really extraordinary work comes out of this. Like I said, in the country, there may not be a finer shop when it comes to what you work with.
If I could say something, we have national shows here in the Reno community for Mustangs specifically, and I've had judges come up here from Southern California and come to me and say, Ron, your shop puts out quality product even better than product that is bragged to be better than anybody from the LA area.
Oh, and that is an absolute fact. And I think it's one of the reasons why Hot August Nights is so rich here in northern Nevada. We have, a number of really quality businesses, but yours, like I said, tops that list. And it's just a thrill to have you on our Hot August Nights show special.
Well, thank you very much.
Performance upgrades, you also get into those exhaust upgrades. So tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, being in this business so long, I know what works and what doesn't work, and what will work well on your car, what won't work well on your car, and everybody has this mentality that the book is always right. The magazine is always right, and it's not. I've been in this long enough to know that this will work well on your car, and what's going to look the best, what will flow the best, X-pipe, H-pipe, glass packs, turbos, chrome tips, stainless tips, echo chambers. I have a good history of knowing what will work best for your car.
On all the different years and all the different models of these cars too. Dianna, we were talking about this before the show. And I know that we can sit here right now and we can talk about this, and it's going to go in one ear and out the other ear on some of our listeners when we say that the time to bring your car in is now if you want to start doing a restoration project. But such a small percentage of people will actually pay attention to this. It's fascinating. And those are the people that actually wind up with the most savings over the course of time. Talk to us about why you think that each year, like, people will wait until spring to start getting their car out of the garage to start tinkering with it, and then rushing to get it ready for this year's event, rather than right now taking the time of bringing it in and starting on it.
Well, most people don't think about working on their cars until the weather gets nice and they're ready to pull it out and go, oh my goodness, I should have done this, but now I want to do it right now because I have a car show coming up in 2 weeks.
But your shop is open in the winter.
We are open in the winter.
So they don't have to worry about pulling it out of their garage and working on it when they can bring it to you, and your garage is open year round.
That's right. We're always there, ready, willing to serve you. Part of waiting until just before the car show season is that, if you think about it, 90% of the population is doing the same thing. So supply and demand, the people who are manufacturing the parts have not had a big demand for it over the winter. So they have 1 or 2 items in stock, maybe a half a dozen, whatever it is. And so they've got 30 other stores ordering the exact same part. Well, whoever orders it first gets it first, and then you're going to wait.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. It may be that if you wait to the last minute, you're not going to get a critical part you need to actually get it out for this year.
That's right.
Not just that whether you get it and have to pay expedited shipping, which can cost a lot more to overnight it or get it second day air, but just that the whether or not you're going to even be able to have it in time for this event.
That's right.
If at all. This year, if at all. So getting it in early means you'll have a better likeliness of getting all the parts you need. But then there's sometimes where there's some custom fabrication that needs to be done as well.
And that takes time.
If a part's completely unavailable, obsolete, and you need to build something, you can do that in your shop.
On most cases, yes.
So giving you the time to run into those little obstacles. You were talking about that. It's like it's almost inevitable as you go through a car, if you're doing a complete restoration, that there's going to be some obstacles.
Especially when you're talking restoration on an older car, not everything is always available. And some things take more time than other things, especially when you're talking about a vehicle that may have been in the saltwater area.
So you got to have the time for those additional things as well. And then, so you're talking about being able to get parts and not have to pay premiums for them in peak market seasons or wait for them because they're out of stock and pay extra shipping to get them overnighted. So there's a real cost savings to the person who brings it to you now.
As well as a frustration savings for everybody, for the consumer, for us, for, you know.
Do you give refunds for frustration savings?
Unfortunately, no.
Repeat customers, you do get those from.
Yeah, that's right.
Complete interiors.
Yes. Yeah, that's one thing that we've really grown up to being able to perform is from headliner to carpet, from front dash to the trunk area. We can complete a Mustang interior.
And yeah, you were talking about like door handles to door covers to carpet kits to the seats, taking dashes out and having them painted, everything.
And we go as far as detailing the little needles and everything. We just don't slap things together. We detail out the whole thing. And a lot of custom things that are coming available for those are sport seats and sport foams to fit those seat upholsteries and a lot more comfortable. We just finished a 69 leather interior, which was just an absolutely plush car. It just is an awesome car.
Well, when you start talking about detailing the needles, you're talking about detailing the needles on the gauges, and you're talking about classic car restoration at the grade of show car quality.
Certainly.
And that's really, I want our out-of-towners to hear that if you've ever had one of these done and it hasn't been detailed down to that level, this is a shop that you want to contact in the future. It's RDW Automotive here in Sparks. And I think what's really extraordinary is your customers forced you into more than just the classic Mustangs because they love you, they love the service they get on those, and they just don't want to take their cars anywhere else after they meet you. And it's obvious. If you come down and meet Ron and Dianna, you'll understand why they're on our show, and we want them to be regular guests. We'll try to get them back as often as we can. But it is just, just day to day, you do foreign and domestic now because your customers demanded it.
Demand it, absolutely. They come in all the time. You're working on my Mustang or Shelby or Cougar or whatever it is. Don't you guys work on other things? And certainly, foreign and domestic, we specialize in all that. And I spent 10 years of my life working on general automotive service.
That's Ron and Dianna Wheeler of RDW Automotive here in Sparks. Thank you so much for taking your time being on our show today.
Thank you, Mitch.
Please tell them how they get a hold of you, where you're located, and hours of operation.
Well, of course, through carbuyeradvisor.com, we're on there, and just search RDW Automotive on the internet. That's really quick and easy. There's always Google Maps attached to that. We're in the phone book, of course. The phone number is 775-323-1362. Sherry or Kristen will be answering. They'll guide you with any question you have.
Also a Facebook page, and we're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, and Saturdays from 9 to 1.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ron and Dianna Wheeler, RDW Automotive. Thanks for joining us again today.
Thanks, Mitch.